to acknowledge and express my gratefulness to His Excellency Dr. Kamlesh Prakash, Honorable High Commissioner of the Republic of Fiji in India, who actually informed and connected me with Mr. Ganeshji. Equally thankful I am to Mr. Ganeshji, who floated invitation to me to come over second time. In month of February 15-16, I was here under the aegis of 12th World Hindi Conference, and this is my second visit to Fiji. I am equally thankful to my co-author, Madam Neha Yadav, and my student Akash Kumar Soni, who helped me out in preparing this paper. My domain is entirely different, as my training is not that of history or sociology or anthropology. So, historians like Vishnuji, Ashutosh Kumar, Mr. Vice Chancellor, Mr. Luwalia, Brij Maharaj, Amba Pandeji, and Anjali ji, they are doing good job. Mr. Gupta, they are doing good job so far as connecting present with the history is concerned. I am really thankful to Mr. Ganeshji for being introduced to so many great scholars, not only belonging to India but also outside, especially Mr. Vishnu. And I am talking about the Girmitiya correct so far as diplomacy is concerned. History is okay, but history should be made more relevant. Shyam Parande ji was mentioning many great scholars. दीनदयाल जी कहा करते थे, हमें जो है वो भूतकाल के अजायब घर की तरह काम नहीं करना है, हमें भूतकाल को वर्तमान के साथ में प्रासंगिक बनाना है. We have to make the past history relevant with the present one. Then only. Certainly, I am not going to repeat many things which have already been written, spoken by many persons. We read the writing Giriraj Kishore, Tataram Shanandya, and that too for Vijalalji, who has floated a lot of literature so far as Girmitiya has provided basic material. Girmitiya. Next please. Next please. I am here to talk about diplomacies. We all know that diplomacy is the functional relationship between different governments. They are providing them as a knowledge bureau. They work as the image building. They work for informing one set of information to other, disseminating this information, connecting conferences, seminar, like that. But during difficult times like wars, border disputes, or coup, or political unrest, the role of diplomats become very critical. In some, diplomacy is the art, the science, and the means by which the nations, group, or the individuals conduct their affairs in ways to safeguard their interests and promote their political, economic, cultural, scientific relations while maintaining peaceful relationships. Actually, there are many types of diplomacies. There are public diplomacy, economic diplomacy, cultural diplomacy, science diplomacy, cyber diplomacy, energy diplomacy, and many more have just enlisted. Functions I have just mentioned it. Communication, negotiation, intelligence gathering, image management, policy implementation. Needless to mention, this diplomacy has to play a vital role as it. But so far as taking identity as the instrument of diplomacy has not been either to discovered properly, used properly. That's why make a back, little back. Next please, next please, next please, next please, next please, next please. Yeah, identity of the people of a nation or common nations has not been structured. That's why this paper is quite innovative, which Girmitiya countries, they have what is the common identity, which has been discussed since yesterday and earlier also. Shyam Parande also mentioned that if we are taking Girmitiya or people of Indian origin, the sun never sets to see where we say Indians live. So we should try to make a case policy on Girmitiya diplomacy. I have the second part of my paper deals with some statistics. I have taken 8 countries, and I would like to mention Diaspora is different from Girmitiya. We should not club with Diaspora. Diaspora is everywhere. Wherever Indians live, belonging to Indian origin, they may be Diaspora, they may be NRI, they may be PIO, but not Girmitiya. Girmitiya has got a specific connotation in which people were sent as the endangered labor to few countries. The countries which I have taken for the sake of environmental studies are Fiji, next please, Guyana, Jamaica, South Africa, Suriname, Seychelles, Trinidad and Tobago. Just to see their size of population, their area, their GDP, their per capita income, how do they stand at the floor of the world as such. And we all know that these countries have their own history, religion, culture, language, traditions, economic profile, political behavior, international presence, legacy of independence, natural resource endowment, education, health infrastructure, communication channels, public law administration. For all practical purposes, they are also independent nation. They are capable of taking their own independent decisions, including diplomatic relations as such. But what I mean to say that man is living according to the government won't work. We'll have 2x2 matrix so far as preparing the combined chart as such. Then people to people as Sham Prade is doing such a great job in the Antarashtriya Sahयोग Parishad and Seva. They're connecting people, inviting parliamentarians, okay, inviting governments, okay, but suppose if they are not being fully supported by the people's conscience, they will not. So people to people, people to government, government to people, and government to government. This 2x2 matrix between people and government. If combined charter, next please. If combined charter, next please, is prepared, I think things would certainly improve. We all know that we are living amidst globalization, but there is a case of reverse globalization also. During COVID, this reverse globalization took place at a very fast speed. Most of the developed countries are talking about their own countries, including India, but India came forward, Shyamji mentioned. We came forward by your culture. We provided vaccines, food grains, many other things, and we could not see recover supply chain. Regional cooperation, we all know that Asia, European Union, OAS, SARC, BRICS, IPSA, OPEC, like already existing. G20 is another group of countries which controls about 80% of total population of the world, or 75% of area and 75% GDP of the world. This is another example. And this provides a case for creating a union amongst Girmitiya countries. This is what I want to mention as such. This is my second part in which I have taken certain statistics, training of statistics. Without statistics, we cannot receive our answer. So this, all 8 countries, the population has been mentioned in this paper, the area has been mentioned in the paper. It all is clear that these 8 countries cover 0.91% of the total population of the world and 1.23% of the area of the total world population. Next table, please. This GDP is little lesser. It is only 0.504% of the total world's GDP is being covered by these 8 countries, very small in size. But so far as per capita GDP is concerned, so things are not so bad. Their average GDP is only 27% points lesser than the average GDP of the world. Next, please. Please, next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, I have just analyzed these statistics into sentences, and we could find that these countries certainly differ from each other in respect of size and population, geographical area, GDP, and everything. But their contribution towards population, area, and GDP is very low. That's why there is a case to join hands together Because if you are working in isolation, we are a small countries working in isolation, our voice may not be heard at the world platform. But with joint hands, I think our voices can be heard in a bigger manner, better manner. And my hypothesis, I want to test it, how much these Girmitiya countries have got relations with themselves and with India. We all know that our roots you see from India, all research papers, because people were sent forcibly as intentionally from India only. So I want to test this hypothesis. These countries, whether they have considerable economic trade relations amongst themselves and vis-a-vis India. So test this hypothesis, certain statistics have been presented in the following tables. Just run these tables. Simple. Only just next piece, next piece, next piece, next piece, next piece. Yeah. These are the highlights. The top part of Fiji are USA, Australia, New Zealand, UK, China, Singapore. For Guyana, USA, Canada, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, UAE, Portugal, China. Jamaica, USA, Canada, Netherlands, Iceland, Russia. Likewise, I have just mentioned. And this is another matrix, which we are the matrix trade partnership. You see, 64. There are 64 columns in this matrix. Mauritius has only limited relation with South Africa. Fiji does not have any trade consumer partnership with other Girmitiya countries. South Africa does not have. Suriname has got only with Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago has got only with Guyana. Guyana has got only Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica. Seychelles does not have any considerable partnership with any of the countries. Jamaica too. This is the present situation. This per se, lo and behold, make a strong case for having a strong and considerable relationship with other countries. There may be certain problems, geographical problems, there may be diplomatic problems. Those problems can be solved because there is a common case of Girmitiya, there is a common case of Indian relation. From here only, I am just making a case for Girmitiya diplomacy. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, these are certain areas and approaches I have identified so far as diplomatic relations developed between Girmitiya countries, India, and many other countries. The very first how to identify people of Girmitiya origin. There are three types of persons. One belongs to old British rulers, another is original indigenous person, third is Girmitiya person. Those identification is essential. Most of the person may be living in those Girmitiya countries, and some must have migrated to other developed countries like USA, UK, New Zealand, and Netherlands like that. And some have, must have gone back to India also. I think this per se, makes a case for providing a demographic data bank, which will provide a base for further analysis. Now I am floating an idea for Shyam Parandeji, Mr. Aluwalia, who is a political scientist, many others. Can't we have a Girmitiya Union as a consonance to European Union? We are having European Union. Why can't we have the Girmitiya Union as such? Then, if Girmitiya Union is constituted, then we can go for common citizenship, common currency, dual citizenship, like that. Many things can be planned likewise. Then strategies may be two-pronged strategies. One belonging to geo countries with themselves, and second belonging to other than geo countries. Very specific I have mentioned. Then geo and India, I am very fast and also mentioned the ideas only. As in that matrix we found that Girmitiya countries do not have sufficient economic relation, trade relation with India. Why not? Only cultural relations are okay, they are okay. But until they are translated into functional trade, economic relationship, I think they cannot be, more useful. So, Geo in India is being globally recognized. Shyamji mentioned that India is progressing very fast. And for the last 1 decade, India is progressing in all respects, whether it's education, research, agriculture, industry, services, and whatnot, and everywhere. So those things should be taken advantage of by this Girmitiya country. Language literature, again, I am just quoting, I think Shyam Parande ji has mentioned so many things. Language literature and cultural diplomacy, that's very good. Last time Fiji only organized 12 Hindi conference and 35,000 persons from 50 countries participated. I'll take 1 minute more, sir. They participated. But that too should be utilized functionally for creating diplomatic, strengthening diplomatic, furthering the economic relationship between these countries. R&D is very much important. Artificial intelligence, robotics are fast developing field as R&D has not been able to use as diplomatic relations. Professor Aluwal is very much here, you see. There may be many universities like the University of South Pacific, Fiji Nation University, many universities in other areas. They can be given specific roles. One may go for artificial intelligence, another may go for robotic, may go for machine learning, like that. So, if these type of institutions are developed and shared with each other, then I think there will be a complete case for future and sustainable development. Good governance diplomacy. Best practices here in Fiji, Guyana, South Africa. They should also be shared with each other so that the public administration political will should be strengthened. Because this is the political will. This is the political will of our ancestors. जिन्होंने 170-80 साल पहले आए थे, उनकी इच्छा शक्ति ही तो थी, दृढ़ इच्छा शक्ति थी, जिन्होंने जीवित रखा, जीवंत रखा। आज उनको हम स्मरण कर रहे हैं। अभी गुप्ता जी ने बातें की, देखिए कितनी महत्वपूर्ण बातें। कल ब्रजराज जी ने प्रेजेंट किया था, व्हाट आई सी फैंटास्टिक पेपर, उनका स्मरण करना पड़ेगा। ये पॉलिटिकल विल बहुत जरूरी होती है आगे बढ़ने के लिए। Resource utilization sustainable diplomacy. You know that developed countries are utilizing our resources to the maximum. They are exploiting our resources. Their entire development paradigm, Professor Aluwal would agree with me, their entire development paradigm depends upon exploitation of natural resources of the developing country. We all know that Guyana is full of oil resources. If those oil resources, natural of Fiji and many other countries, they should have pool of these natural resources. And first of all, they should give importance to the Girmitiya countries, then to India. Then we should talk to others. Otherwise, what will happen? Their natural resources will be exploited, they will develop, and we will be remaining with peanuts. And we will remain developing or underdeveloped. So, these resources can also be used as diplomacy, so that we should obtain that goal of sustainable development. Then comes the no conflict diplomacy. Certainly, no conflict diplomacy shall have to be formed, because if our resources are being used in coups and or protecting our boundaries or extending our defense relationship, where we'll go to invest in our education, health, infrastructure, roads, everything. So this is another area. I think only two more points. Excuse me, Chair. One is Swadeshi and Atmanirbharta diplomacy. I think till date nobody has talked about Swadeshi and Atmanirbharta diplomacy. India is doing wonders so far. Swadeshi and Atmanirbharta. Natural resources, indigenous resources, knowledge and skill should form the development, and they should have sufficient capacity to finance external resources. So Swadeshi does not mean only depending upon their own resources or go for closed economy. Our Prime Minister said we should be vocal, we should be local, and local for global. So globalization can be connected, but at the bottom of the heart we should have Swadeshi and Atmanirbharta. And here I am giving the model. Professor Aluwal, we are just talking about the growth-led distribution model world over, and has created a lot of problems. This is a Western model, sir. I am talking distributive justice diplomacy. We should distribution-led growth model. First distribution, then growth, and then only we can solve the problems on employment, poverty, backwardness, and so many other regional imbalances like this. Conclusively, I will speak that though new countries are very small in size, but they have immense potential. The political will is very strong. They have long history of their struggle. They're taking out to the emotionally charged persons with us. If we join hands together, then our foolproof diplomatic strategy can be formulated with some of the areas I have presented in this paper. Further, I am recommending that some study groups may be constructed, maybe some study groups may be constituted for making all this idea to convert, to translate in realistic policies which can be utilized by Geo countries, Geo in India and the world over. And I'll reiterate those quotable curse of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Ayam Nija Paro Vyakti Galana Lagujeksam Udara Charitanam To Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that have been extended further by the thinkers of India G20, one earth, one family and one future. With these words, I reiterate my thankfulness to the chair as well as Professor Alwale Ganeshji. Thank you very much. Vande Mataram.